Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the part in the day where I stream some Half-Life 2 for y'all. We are on episode 2. We just got our... try not to sneeze. Probably gonna sneeze anyway. Nope. Nope, I'm good. Okay. We have got our Magnuson bombs. We have got our car. We are headed up to the sawmill, I think it was called. Let's see the map. Excuse me, sir. Yes, we're headed up to the sawmill in our car with our Magnuson bombs. We're gonna go help those people out. Ooh, that's a little loud in my ears.
You'll find the sawmill at the far end of the valley.
I can see all the Magnuson bombs on my radar.
Perimeter's clear. Still no sign of incursion. Keep alert.
Yeah, not yet. There's no sign of incursion. Sawmill should be over here, I think. Whoops. We be driving so reckless. Sawmill.
So, they've sent Freeman, have they?
They have.
Good man. We've counted a dozen Striders just north of us. Our job is to keep them from reaching the base to the south.
Yep.
If they get close enough for one good shot at the silo, the whole launch is a bust.
Okay.
And in case Striders aren't bad enough, recon indicates they're being escorted by packs of hunters.
Fantastic.
Now, what I want you to do...
Attention!
Uh-oh.
North perimeter breach.
All right, people, this is it.
We have a Strider approaching from the cranes.
Defensive positions, go! Oh boy, here we go. Everyone ready? We need to stop them here. Remember, keep them distracted while Freeman takes them down. Oh man, this is gonna be bad. Hey, stay focused. Get the gun.
I probably should have. Uh-oh. Well, there goes my Magnuson. Did that just fall off? Oh, you stupid hunter. Ow. Okay, time to go. Give me Magnuson. Got you that time.
Strider at the sawmill.
Wonderful. Oh, looks like there's a Magnuson spot here somewhere. There we go. Come here, you gorgeous bomb. It's the only good thing Dr. Magnuson has done so far. Alright. Come in behind the Strider. I don't see any runners yet. Oh, 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 ow. Yeah. best laid plans, right? Here we go. Oh no, they blew up the magnetic generator. Come on, come on, come on. Gimme. Uh-oh.
You really got away with those Magnusons.
Keep an eye out. It looks like hunters are traveling with the Striders. They're working in packs.
Yeah, I noticed. Load up the car, let's find some more.
Now we have a Strider coming in from the water tower.
On it. I don't know why I'm telling you this like you can hear me, but I'm on it. Crap. That's gonna hurt. Okay, yeah. Please tell me yes. No. Yes. Got it. Okay, time to stop the Strider. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, I don't know how to drive this thing. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Strider coming from the crane.
Another Strider? Jeez, no time for this. No. Gravity gun, gravity gun. Come on. Hoop. Got it. No. Don't turn around. I need to. Someone shoot it in the back, please. Alright. That was dumb. Oh, let me just throw this in the one place where I can't hit it from. Memo to self, do not attach Magnusons to the rear. Just don't do it. Oh, I wish I could run with this thing. Come on. On the back we go. There we go. They're close. Of course, we gotta kill the hunters first. Ugh. Okay. Back in the car. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Got it. game is loading. Or freezing, or I don't know. But we're doing okay so far. Come on. Come on. I know it's not my computer because my streaming and everything is working just fine. There it is. There it is. Okay, let's go.
Magnuson would be proud.
Keep up the good work.
Would
Only
he?
a few striders left.
I don't think he would be proud because I don't think he's capable of being proud of anything but himself. So I guess he'd be proud of his Magnuson bombs.
Another strider coming in towards what used to be the sawmill.
Yeah, thanks. That's what used to be the sawmill. Yeah, I know. I know the sawmill got blown up. On the car. Let's go. It's a good thing I have this rack, otherwise be really out of luck because the sawmill magnet generator got blown up.
Now we have a strider coming in from the water tower.
Wonderful. Just wunderbar, really. Oh, that is a lot of hunters. Ow. Back in the car, back in the car, back in the car! Did that kill it? Really? Bam! Yes! Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Gravity gun, come on, come on. And go! Strike true. No! You were supposed to strike true, not strike true.
A strider has been spotted by the crane.
Not good.
Alert! There's a strider getting close to the base.
I know, I know! Come on. Strike true. Yes! Got it. Okay, and we're moving on. Oh, bad. Oh, it doesn't insta-give them. Okay, alright. Even stronger weapon than that. Oh, I've got an alt fire. Okay, gotta find a new Magnuson spot. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know what? I've got rockets. Working on it. Oh, it hurts. Come here, you. Oh, there's one right there. Oh.
Nice one, Freeman.
Another Strider from the water tower.
No. Can we not? Oh, really? Are they... Is, like, throwing them awesome or something? Picking up Strider legs with the gravity gun? I'll have to try that. But, you know, next time. Okay, well, that magnet is gone. Oh, got him on the rebound. Yeah. Okay, alright, here we go, here we go. Yo! Okay, gotta give this a try. Oh, it's so big. And unwieldy. And my game is just freezing. Hey, how's it going, guys? Alright, I will definitely throw this. Oh, ow, that really hurt.
Looks like that was the last one. Get ready, everyone. We spotted dropships carrying even more Striders. We have about a minute before they hit, so gear up. This is gonna get ugly before it's over.
I need to find health now. Use Strider legs to kill the hunters. Got it. Probably a good call. Using all of that. Oh, there's propane tanks too. Loading up the car.
Here, pat yourself up.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Defend the base, people. Don't let them near the base.
Got one.
We have a Strider coming in with the crane.
I knew it would end like this.
Who says it's ending? Come on, man.
Now there's one at the sawmill.
Okay, we're going for the sawmill first, I think. Yeah.
They're coming from everywhere. Strider spotted at the water tower.
Uh-oh. Got it. Okay, one down. Gotta go get another magnet. Come on, you beautiful. Bomb you. Dropship? I gotta fight a dropship too? Come on. That one's getting close. Oh, that one's getting close. There it is.
No, people, we're not done yet. Another Strider just spotted at the sawmill.
What the crap?
One more at the crane.
What was that? This is my first time playing this. I've never played Half-Life 2 Episode 2 before. As a matter of fact, my gameplay videos from Episode 1 and Half-Life 2 Vanilla
We have a Strider coming in
have
from
been
the
my first
crane.
time playing. So this is all brand new experience for me, except for the part where I died and have to do it over again.
Now there's one at the sawmill.
Okay, going for the crane first this time. gravity gun. Yeah. One down. I know.
It was just spotted at the sawmill.
Wonderful.
One more at the crane.
Oh, gross. Come on, let me pick up this freaking... Alright, whatever, not worth it anymore. Run you over with my car. Both barrels?
They're not making this easy.
A log. I ate it. Alright, gotta try this again. You can use logs? Oh, those logs.
It sealed it. We're dead.
We have a strider coming in from the crane.
Could you not be so disappointing, guys? Have a little faith, huh?
Now there's one at the sawmill.
I'll figure this out eventually. Ow. Okay, whatever.
They're coming from everywhere. Strider spotted at the water tower.
One down. Bomb. Oh, no. Oh, crap. You're kidding me. I'll try and remember that, the logs and stuff. I don't know. It's just, not terribly good for me. like running through my car.
Strider was just spotted at the sawmill.
Oh, jeez.
One more at the crane.
That was actually super fun. With a lot. I got it, I got it. Don't worry your pretty little heads. That was definitely a nice trick with the log. I enjoyed that very much. Thank you to Redacted for that tip. Oh, I can hop. Hop with them. Yeah. Okay, where's the next one? Over here. Hopping, throwing, no! Oh, no. Got it? Okay, we're okay. Oh boy. Hopping. Oh boy, bad thing. Oh boy. Got it. Okay. Going. Ow, that really hurt.
They're getting too close to the silo!
I know.
Nice one, Freeman.
We did it! We held them off!
Is that all of
Good
them?
work, everyone!
Oh, that is all of them. Woo!
Attention! The Striders have been defeated! All personnel return to base immediately! Repeat! All personnel return to base immediately!
Yeah, let me just get my car. Wherever I left it, there it is. I don't think I have any revolver rounds left, to be honest. I used a lot of them. I pretty much use up the revolver as soon as I have ammo for it, to be honest. It's just so good.
Hey, Gordon Freeman. Thanks, Freeman.
Okay. He just runs up to me. He's like, Gordon Freeman! Yeah, yes.
Get going.
Alright, I'm going. Oh, yeah.
Wow, Gordon. You were amazing out there.
Thank you. Sorry, guys, my allergies. Oh, goodness. Okay, this is great. So now what happens? Like, seriously, we're in this base, we've got this missile, we're trying to stop the portal thing from going out of control, and then what exactly? Like, I don't see the long-term plan here for humanity or the game
Final
franchise
stages. The portal's close
at
to
all,
opening,
really.
but Dr. Magnuson sure will be in time to stop it.
Complete. Tracking beacon. Oh, there's another bit of cruft we can ignore. Support equipment powered down. Hold on a moment, Kleiner. Ah, Freeman. Well, I see the Magnuson device performed flawlessly.
Yes.
I feel compelled to thank you personally for saving my rocket. So, thank you. Well, that's enough chit-chat. I've got a rocket to launch.
That actually seemed like it was
Wow.
painful for him.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to get a hug.
Powered and ready.
That was that honestly it
control
seemed
room.
like it
We can
was
get a
it was
great view of
painful
the
for
launch
him.
from
He's
there.
like I should say thank you. I'll
Well, here we are again.
thank you, Freeman, for saving my rocket.
While you were out
my
having
rocket.
fun, I found an old helicopter that I was able to get working.
Okay.
I've got it all packed up and ready to go.
Go where?
Never a dull moment, huh?
Oh, go to the.
Seeing a payload anomaly
We gotta
of
go to the
approximately
Aperture
8,000
Science boat. Which begs the question, I really should look into it whether or not Portal came out after this game or before this
Hell of
game.
a job you did out there, son.
Let's not forget that with the Magnuson device, those Striders practically destroy themselves.
Yes. Well, I think perhaps Gordon had something to do with their success.
I suggest we adjourn this meeting of the Mutual Admiration Society until after we have launched our rocket. Now, I believe we're ready to
Wow,
start
he
the
really
launch.
does not like sharing the spotlight at all.
You'll hear no objection from me.
Do I push
It's
a
all
button?
yours, Gordon.
Oh, I get to push the big red button.
Silo doors open.
What is this? What is this little thing? It looks like a book or something.
Stations, everyone. Power to main thrusters.
This had better work.
Steady on.
T minus 10, 9,
We're launching.
7, 6, 5,
Steady.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
We did it!
we sure did.
Control myself.
Yes!
Fantastic.
Deep breaths. Now it is still too early to celebrate. We need to reach altitude and transmit the signal.
Too right. The clock is ticking.
We couldn't have cut it any closer if that was our intention.
It is going to work, right?
It has to.
Once the rocket is in range of the portal, we'll be able to switch on the xenium resonator.
Well, let's get outside. I'd like a better view of the fireworks.
There should be quite a show. Regrettably, I can't come out with you. Magnuson and I will need to keep a close eye on the rocket's trajectory.
Aren't you going to see us off?
Just as soon as this is wrapped up, I wouldn't dream of letting you go without a proper goodbye.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. You too, Dr. Magnuson.
Indeed.
We'll catch up with you in a moment, sweetheart. Gordon, hold up a
Dog,
second.
there you are.
I see.
The more I think about that warning from our friend, the more I'm convinced it has to do with Borealis. Don't be deceived. That ship must never be used. You have got to destroy it, whatever the cost.
Where are you two? You're going to miss it.
Be right there, Alex. Gordon, thanks for everything you've done. For Alex, for all of us. I couldn't be prouder if you were my own son. Now, when you get back, we've got a lot to talk about.
Come on.
Man, he's shipping Alex and Gordon real hard.
Gordon, Alex,
Dear
look
God,
at the portal.
this has to work.
Fingers crossed, everybody.
We've activated the resonator. This is it.
Oh,
My goodness.
yes.
The portal has been neutralized.
Did it.
Yeah, it worked.
Did it, Gordon.
We sure as hell did, and not a moment too soon.
And of course, Magnuson is like, my rocket worked. I did it.
I'll bet the Combine aren't too happy right now.
You got that right, sweetheart. but
I
we've
hope
got
not.
plenty to celebrate. I wish you didn't have to head off so soon. If only it weren't so critical.
It's okay, Dad. We'll find Judith and bring her back. Dog? Hey, where are you? What a nut. Don't go too far.
Dog senses something, I know it.
Well, there she is. Gassed up and ready to go.
Alright.
We're to keep in constant contact. We have no idea what to expect.
Sure, no problem.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll be all right.
I just wish all this didn't have to fall on you, Alex. Your mother would be so proud.
Dad.
Aw.
Come on, Gordon. The chopper's waiting for us.
Are you sure you have everything you need?
I think so. Dr. Kleiner gave us the Borealis coordinates. We'll keep the hailing frequency open on the chopper radio in case Judith tries to reach us again.
Good idea. She could well make another attempt.
Oh no.
Dad! Gordon! Help!
Oh!
Dad!
Alex!
Can't move.
Dad! Oh. Get away!
Oh no.
Listen to me. Destroy that ship! Whatever it takes! Destroy it!
Don't!
How come he can move?
Dad, look out! No! Dad! Dad! God damn it, let go of him!
Come on. Give me something. Oh, shit.
Oh my god!
I love you, sweetheart. Close your eyes, honey.
I love you, Dad!
Don't look.
No! Oh my god, no! No!
Did they just suck his brains out?
Gordon! Dog!
Dog, kill that one. Hurry. Oh, it's too late.
Oh god! Dad!
Oh no.
Dad! Dad, please! Dad! Oh my god! No! 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 Oh my god!
Is that where they're gonna end it?
Don't leave me.
God damn it, Valve! Come on! Okay. It's... Oh my god. Alright, well... Yeah, that was... That really sucked. And that's it. That's all we get. Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah. Yeah. So now what? Like, that's all we get. You know what? You know what? I am gonna find the Laidlaw letter. Cause Mark Laidlaw, he posted a synopsis for episode 3. he titled it Epistle 3. And if you haven't read it, then at this point, like, how dare you? But well, no. We're actually getting news now that the Half-Life 3 is actually kind of going to happen, in theory. But apparently a bunch of, like, programmers and stuff, they're just doing a game jam. So it's not gonna be Half-Life 3, but there are people who are working on what will kind of be at least the spiritual successor to Half-Life 2, if not an actual follow-up. So I've got a little time left on the stream, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the Laidlaw letter. It says, "Dearest Playa, I hope this letter finds you well. I can hear your complaint already. Gertie Fremont, we have not heard from you in ages." You know, I might play Black Mesa. We'll see. Well, if you can hear excuses, I have plenty. The greatest of them being I've been in other dimensions and whatnot, unable to reach you by the usual means. This was the case until 18 months ago, when I experienced a critical change in my circumstances and was redeposited on these shores. In the time since, I have been able to think occasionally about how best to describe the intervening years, my years of silence. I do apologize for the wait, and that done, hasten to finally explain, albeit briefly, quickly, and in very little detail, events following those described in my previous letter, referred to herewith as Epistle 2. So, probably, episode 2. So he changed a bunch of the words. To begin with, as you may recall from the closing paragraphs of my previous missive, the death of Ellie Vaunt, that's Eli Vance, shook us all. Yeah, it did. I want to say it was just my allergies, but it really did suck. I cried. I teared up a little. I'll admit it. The research and rebellion team was traumatized, unable to be sure how much of our plan might be compromised and whether it made any sense to go on at all as we had intended. And yet, once Eli had been buried, we found the strength and courage to regroup. It was the strong belief of her brave son, the feisty Alex Vaunt, that we should continue on as his mother had wished. So he just gender swapped everybody. We had the Antarctic coordinates transmitted by Ellie's longtime assistant, Dr. Jerry Moss, which we believe to mark the location of the lost luxury liner Hyperborea. Ellie had felt strongly that the Hyperborea should be destroyed, rather than allow it to fall into the hands of the disparate. Others on our team disagreed, believing that the Hyperborea might hold the secret to the revolution's success. Either way, the arguments were moot until we found the vessel. Therefore, immediately after the service for Dr. Vaunt, Alex and I boarded a seaplane and set off for the Antarctic. A much larger support team, mainly militia, was to follow by separate transport. It is still unclear to me exactly what brought down our little aircraft. The following hours spent traversing the frigid waste in a blizzard are also a jumbled blur, ill-remembered and poorly defined. The next thing I clearly recall is our first approach to the coordinates Dr. Moss had provided. and where we expected to find the Hyperborea. What we found instead was a complex, fortified installation showing all the hallmarks of sinister, disparate technology. It surrounded a large, open field of ice. Of the Hypnos itself, there was no sign, or not at first. But as we stealthily infiltrated the disparate installation, we noticed a recurrent, strangely coherent, auroral effect, as of a vast hologram fading in and out of view. This bizarre phenomenon initially seemed an effect caused by an immense disparate lensing system. Alex and I soon realized that what we were actually seeing was the luxury liner Hyperborea itself phasing in and out of existence at the focus of the disparate devices. The aliens had erected their compound to study and seize the ship whenever it materialized. What Dr. Moss had provided were not coordinates for where the sub was located, but instead where it was predicted to arrive. The liner was oscillating in and out of our reality. Its pulses were gradually steadying, but there was no guarantee it would settle into place for long or at all. We determined that we must put ourselves into position to board it at the instant it became completely physical. This sounds like it would be awesome to play through, and I really hope these game dev jam guys that are working on, that are planning to work on it, like, pull it off. Okay. At this point, we were briefly detained, not captured by the disparate as we feared at first, but by minions of our former nemesis, the conniving and duplicitous Wanda Bree. Dr. Bree was not as we had last seen her, which is to say she was not dead. At some point, the disparate had saved out an earlier version of her consciousness, and upon her physical demise, they had imprinted the back-up personality into a biological blank resembling an enormous slug. So Dr. Bree, when they talked about him getting a host body, they actually threw it into one of those advisor things, it sounds like. The Bree slug, despite occupying a position of relative power in the disparate hierarchy, seemed nervous and frightened of me in particular. Wanda did not know how her previous incarnation, the original Dr. Bree, had died. She knew only that I was responsible. Therefore, the slug treated us with great caution. Still, she soon confessed, never able to keep quiet for long, that she was herself a prisoner of the disparate. She took no pleasure from her current grotesque existence and pleaded with us to end her life. Alex believed that a quick death was more than Wanda Bree deserved, but for my part, I felt a modicum of pity and compassion. Out of Alex's sight, I might have done something to hasten the slug's demise before we proceeded. Not far from where we had been detained by Dr. Bree, we found Jerry Maz being held in a disparate interrogation cell. Things were tense between Jerry and Alex, as might be imagined. Alex blamed Jerry for his mother's death, news of which Jerry was devastated to hear for the first time. Jerry tried to convince Alex that he had been a double agent serving the Resistance all along. I kind of figured. Doing only what Ellie had asked of him, even though he knew it meant he risked being seen by his peers, by all of us, as a traitor. I was convinced, Alex was less so, but from a pragmatic point of view, we depended on Dr. Maz, for, along with the Hyperborea coordinates, he possessed resonance keys which would be necessary to bring the liner fully into our plane of existence. We skirmished with disparate soldiers protecting the Despar research post. Then Dr. Maz attuned the Hyperborea to precisely the frequencies needed to bring into brief coherence. In the short time available to us, we scrambled aboard the ship with an unknown number of disparate agents close behind. The ship cohered for only a short time, and then its oscillations resumed. It was too late for our own military support, which arrived and joined the disparate forces in battle just as we rebounded between universes, once again unmoored. What happened next is even harder to explain. Alex Vaughn Dr. Maz and myself sought control of the ship, its power source, its control room, its navigation center. The liner's history proved non-linear. Years before, during the disparate invasion, various members of an earlier science team working in the hull of a dry-docked liner situated on the Tosin Island research base in Lake Huron had assembled what they called the bootstrap device. If it worked as intended, it would emit a field large enough to surround the ship. This field would then itself travel instantaneously to any chosen destination without having to cover the intervening space. So a teleporter. There was no need for entry or exit portals or any other devices. It was entirely self-contained. Oh, so more like a tesseract folding space. Unfortunately, the device had never been tested as the Disparate pushed Earth into the 9-hour Armageddon. The aliens seized control of our most important research facilities. The staff of the Hyperborea, with no other wish than to keep the ship out of disparate hands, acted in desperation. They switched on the field and flung the Hyperborea toward the most distant destination they could target, Antarctica. What they did not realize was that the bootstrap device traveled in time as well as space, nor was it limited to where stretched, to one time or one location. The Hyperborea and the moment of its activation were stretched out across time and space, between and nearly forgotten Lake Huron of the 9-hour, between the nearly forgotten Lake Huron of the 9-hour Armageddon and the present-day Antarctic. It was pulled taut as an elastic band vibrating except where at certain points along its length one could find still points, like the harmonic spots along the vibrating string of the guitar. One of these harmonics was where we boarded, but the string ran forward and back in both time and space, and we were soon pulled in every direction ourselves. Man, how awesome would that be if there was you played through the ship level and there were just portals that opened up to different times and stuff? Time grew confused. Looking from the bridge, we could see the dry docks of Tosin Island at the moment of teleportation, just as the disparate forces closed in from land, sea, and air. At the same time, we could see the Antarctic wastelands, where our friends were fighting to make their way to the Protean Hyperborea. And in addition, glimpses of other worlds, somewhere in the future perhaps, or even in the past. Alex grew convinced we were seeing one of the disparate's central staging areas for invading other worlds such as our own. We meanwhile fought a running battle throughout the ship, pursued by disparate forces. We struggled to understand our situation and to agree on our course of action. Could we alter the course of the Hyperborea? Could we run aground in the Antarctic, giving our peers the chance to study it? Should we destroy it with all hands aboard, our own included? It was impossible to hold a coherent thought given the baffling and paradoxical time loops which passed through the ship like bubbles. Okay, so if it were me, I would destroy it, but because it's in every time and space or whatever, right, you could destroy it and then hop off at a different time period, so before the ship was destroyed, right? Because it's all stretched out over time and space. Oh man, this is amazing. This is amazing. I felt I was going mad, that we all were, confronting myriad versions of ourselves, in that ship that was half ghost ship, half nightmare funhouse. What it came down to at last was a choice. Jerry Maz argued reasonably that we should save the Hyperborea and deliver it to the Resistance, that our intelligent peers might study and harness its power. But Alex had reminded me that we had sworn he would honor his mother's demand that we destroy the ship. He hatched a plan to set the Hyperborea to self-destruct while riding it into the heart of the disparate invasion nexus. Jerry and Alex argued. Jerry overpowered Alex and brought the Hyperborea area, preparing to shut off the bootstrap device and settle the ship on the ice. Then I heard a shot and Jerry fell. Alex had decided for all of us, or his weapon had. With Dr. Moss dead, we were committed to the suicide plunge. Grimly, Alex and I armed the Hyperborea, creating a time-traveling missile and steered it for the heart of the disparate command center. At this point, wait a minute. If it travels back in time and blows up the Disparate, then would the 7-Year War never have happened and Alex's mother come back to life? All of that never happened? At this point, as you will no doubt be unsurprised to hear, a certain sinister figure appeared in the form of that sneering trickster, Mrs. X, sorry. Aha. For once she had appeared not to me, but to Alex Vaunt. Alex had not seen the cryptical schoolmarm since childhood, but he recognized her instantly. "Come along with me now, we've places to do and things to be," said Mrs. X, and Alex acquiesced. He followed the strange gray lady out of the Hyperborea, out of our reality. For me, there was no convenient door held open, only a snicker and a sideways glance. I was left alone, riding the weaponized luxury liner into the heart of the disparate world. An immense light blazed. I caught a cosmic view of a brilliant, glittering Dyson sphere. The vastness of the disparate's power, the futility of our struggle, blossomed briefly in my awareness. I saw everything. Mainly I saw how the Hyperborea, our most powerful weapon, would register as less than a fizzling match head as it blew itself apart. And what remained of me would be even less than that. Just then, as you have surely already foreseen, the ghastly haunts parted their own checkered curtains of reality, reached in as they have on prior occasions, plucked me out and set me aside. I barely got to see the fireworks begin, and here we are. I spoke of my return to this shore. It has been a circuitous path to lands I once knew, and surprising to see how much the terrain has changed. Enough time has passed that few remember me, or what I was saying when last I spoke, or what's precisely we hope to accomplish. At this point, the resistance will have failed or succeeded, no thanks to me. Old friends have been silenced or fallen by the wayside. I no longer know or recognize most members of the research team, though I believe the spirit of rebellion still persists. I expect you know better than I the appropriate course of action, and I leave you to it. Expect no further correspondence from me regarding these matters. This is my final epistle. Yours in infinite finality, Gertrude Fremont, PhD. So guys, this is up on Mark Laidlaw's website. You can find it, you can read it for yourself, and from the sounds of things, like if they just skip over episode 3, they could build a story based on this, and maybe even based on what Alex Vance does when the G-Man takes her out of this scenario. We'll see. But it does sound like Gordon Freeman is over with, at least. Man, I really, like, episode 3 probably won't happen, is what it sounds like. There's probably some kind of, laws, or copyright things going on, but this does, if they're closing the door on the Gordon Freeman saga, they could definitely start a new game in the same world, or a similar world, and I would be very excited, and I would look forward to playing that, you know? It probably wouldn't be the same. Some of the characters would get changed or whatever, but if they could get all the rights to it, that would be amazing. So guys, I will leave a link to Mark Laidlaw's Epistle 3 in the description when this goes and gets cataloged. Thank you for joining me for the stream, for the last of Half-Life 2, and Mark Laidlaw's letter from Gertie Fremont. This has been pretty amazing. I'll see if I can pick up Black Mesa or Half-Life 1 or whatever, and play some more of that next week. But for now, I've finally padded my runtime with the Laidlaw letter, and thank you, Mark Laidlaw. This has been a crazy, amazing ride, and while it's not the best game I've ever played, it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there, and I want to see more. I definitely understand the Half-Life 3 confirmed meme now, and why everyone wants it in our hearts. Those of us who have played Half-Life 2, we want more. Yeah, I should stop rambling. We're at an hour. Again, thank you to everyone who's joined me. Thanks again to Redacted for the hints on taking down those hunters. It was tough, but it was fun, and I will see you guys in the next video. So yeah, goodbye, friends.